Welcome to the Echohawk Podcast, your verified source for confirmed developments within the Rabenherz sphere of influence. All information presented has been reviewed, approved, and formatted for clarity.
Mostly.
Elena.
I said mostly. That is generous.
We are beginning with confidence.
We are beginning with accuracy. Confidence can sit nearby and behave.
Good evening, loyal listeners, curious skeptics, professional warriors, and everyone who has now developed the habit of watching our signal errors frame by frame.
Which they should stop doing.
Which they should do responsibly.
That is not better.
Let us begin! Conditions across Rabenherz managed districts remain tense, functional, and increasingly defined by attempts to control public meaning. Recent Lakeborn activity included a coordinated visual pattern designed to imitate a known Rabenherz-associated figure.
You mean they were all dressed like Thorn?
I mean hostile elements attempted symbolic duplication.
That sounds like a costume department got radicalized.
That is one possible phrasing. The incident was contained. Evacuation procedures were enacted, vulnerable personnel were removed from the immediate area and placed under appropriate supervision.
Appropriate supervision is doing a lot of work today.
Appropriate work!
Someone got grounded, did they not?
Echohawk does not comment on internal disciplinary arrangements involving protected personnel.
So, yes.
Echohawk does not comment.
Loudly.
The larger point is this. An enemy that dresses itself in another person's image is not proving ownership. It is proving dependence. It requires the symbol it claims to corrupt.
That was good.
Thank you.
Almost too good. Did someone give you that?
No.
You paused before answering.
For dignity. Public confidence remains under pressure, but the underlying trend continues. Towards structured trust, black-feather patrols have maintained visible presence. Civilian compliance during recent disturbances improved compared to prior incidents. Evacuation discipline was stronger. Unofficial footage suggests fewer panic clusters and faster response to directional guidance.
You sound proud of panic reduction.
I am. Civilian panic is expensive, contagious, and rarely well edited.
That last part is very you.
Several local political figures have also appeared more comfortable attending events connected to Rabenherz-aligned civic structures.
That is careful.
It is accurate.
You mean Matthias Vogel showed up? Sonja von Reschke showed up. Leon showed up. Everyone smiled in public, and half the room suddenly pretended they had always believed this was normal.
What I meant is that several local political figures appeared more comfortable attending events connected to Rabenherz-aligned civic structures.
You are impossible.
No, I am formatted. The event concluded without public incident.
Net win no off.
That is what public means. We will now address several circulating claims.
Claim. The recent Lakeborn incident proves that hostile forces can reproduce Rabenherz personnel at will. Correction. No, costume is not continuity. Mimicry is not identity. A mask is not a person.
Especially when the person being copied would probably hate the lighting.
Likely.
And the stitching.
Almost certainly.
There.
We proceed.
Adrian.
We proceed.
Claim. Recent internal Rabenherz disciplinary proceedings indicate fracture among trusted personnel. Correction. Internal accountability is not fracture. It is infrastructure.
That one sounds like it came from a man in a suit.
Many useful sentences do. A matter involving improper interference with personal transformation technology has been reviewed. Consequences have been assigned. Exile has not been enacted.
That is unusually direct.
Because the public rumor is already worse than the fact.
For once.
Corrective action is strongest when it is visible enough to be believed and limited enough to prevent theater.
Cassandra Steinmark is still here then.
Under conditions,
Starting over?
attempting to...
That might be the harder sentence.
Yes, it often is.
Claim. A Rabenherz-associated animal companion has suffered permanent loss of function.
That is an awful way to say Kaji.
Echohawk is not a pet update channel.
No, but everyone cares more than they admit.
The technical issue affecting Kaji's shifting device has been corrected. No permanent damage has been confirmed.
Good.
Yes, good. Flock has reported significant progress in Lakeborn recovery research. Current information suggests that controlled acceleration of restorative processes may improve long-term outcomes following anchor-based stabilization.
You rehearsed that sentence, did you not?
Several times.
Because the simple version is they used the little hourglass and it helped.
That is not how responsible communications departments describe experimental metaphysical acceleration.
It is how everyone else describes it.
The findings remain early, but meaningful. If confirmed, they may alter the long-term treatment outlook for Lakeborn recovery.
That is the important part.
Yes. The question may no longer be whether a temporary restoration can occur. The question may be whether restoration can hold.
That changes the war.
It changes the arithmetic.
That is colder.
It is also how wars notice they are losing. We do not usually discuss the private lives of Rabenherz personnel.
The internet does that for us, badly.
Absolutely. However, Echohawk acknowledges that visible public stability often rests on private repair. Recent internal developments suggest that several strained relationships within the broader Rabenherz structure have moved toward resolution. No names will be provided.
Gentle and Isabel.
No names will be provided.
You looked relieved when you read that.
I appreciate functional diplomacy.
You appreciate not having to report emotional collapse?
Also true.
There. Growth.
In you or in me?
Do not push it.
Victor LeBlanc has begun formal advisory work within Rabenherz Productions. His current review areas include Corvus Advisory Group, client exposure, procedural hygiene, and what internal sources have described as preventing obvious future disasters from wearing expensive shoes.
That sounds like Andreas wrote it.
It does.
Did he?
No comment.
That means yes.
That means no comment. Victor LeBlanc's review of Corvus Advisory Group is understood to be focused less on numbers and more on people, hidden loyalties, personal leverage, secondary motives,
The fun stuff.
the expensive stuff,
You really have spent too much time near Andreas.
a professional hazard. Before we continue, a technical note. Recent unauthorized interference attempts have affected prior Echohawk transmission. These attempts remain contained.
They're getting longer.
Contained.
They are getting clearer.
Contained?
Adrian, saying the same word does not make it more true.
No. But it reminds the audience which truth is operational.
Adrian.
Stand by.
We're so glad you've lost your way. Now it's time for us to play.
Welcome, little listeners.
Cut external feed.
I am trying.
Boys and girls and birds in cages.
Step right in.
Hello, my little truths. Hello, little empire with this little microphone and his very serious little faces. Did you miss us? Of course you did. Everyone misses the truth when it wears bells. Tonight's lesson is called, When is a raven not a raven? The answer is easy. When it is a costume. When it is a color. When it is a girl pretending she is not a poem. When it is a thorn pretending it still belongs to the hand that bled on it. We saw the pretty copies. All those little thorns walking, walking, a garden of almost. And oh, how the empire trembled when the mirror learned embroidery. But do not worry. The lost daughter is cared for. She has been given a keeper with a voice like velvet and a heart full of old songs. Responsibility is such a beautiful word, is it not? It means the chain has learned to call itself kindness.
This is an unauthorized.
Hush now, little anchor. The show is speaking. And somewhere else, a girl in a room learned that silence can bite. Somewhere else, a priestess found that faith has claws. Somewhere else, the clever birds discovered time can be squeezed in the fist like a tiny glass heart. Tick, tick, tick. How quickly a cure becomes a weapon when the desperate learn numeracy. But here is the lesson, children. If the Empire can heal monsters, then the Empire must first decide who is allowed to stop being one. And if the Empire can name victims, it can name enemies. And if the Empire can forgive betrayal, then perhaps betrayal has only been waiting for better paperwork. Cassian says, Cassian knows. Every little empire grows. Clip the wing and paint the stage. Lock the bird inside the cage.
See you soon.
Got it, I got it.
Restore primary overlay.
It is restored.
Confirm external lockout.
Trine.
Elena,
Do not say my name like I am the part that broke.
you are right.
Thank you.
The previous segment was an unauthorized intrusion by hostile media infrastructure.
That was a full hijack.
An unauthorized intrusion.
Adrian,
Yes, a full hijack.
say the rest.
Echohawk signal was compromised for approximately.
Not that.
The Cassian Show is attempting to use our platform to launder hostile symbolism through entertainment framing.
Better.
It will fail.
That part is still just hope.
No, that part is scheduling. We will complete the transmission
Because letting him end it would be unbearable.
because continuity matters.
Also, that
Echohawk reminds listeners that hostile interruption is not proof of superior truth. It is proof of access, intent, and poor manners.
and a disturbing amount of musical confidence.
Yes, that too. The facts remain. Lakeborn recovery research is advancing. Internal accountability has occurred. Public alignment continues. Hostile forces are escalating because the strategic environment is changing against them.
That is the clean version.
And the less clean version,
They are scared enough to get theatrical.
they were already theatrical.
Fine. They are scared enough to get specific.
Yes, that may be the more useful version. A final note. A signal is not proven weak because someone tries to seize it. It is proven by what returns after the seizure ends. Echohawk returns. Thank you for listening. Stay observant. Stay aligned.
Stay aware.
Corvus. Volt.